Our next speaker is Mr. Bapat. Uh, he is a former director of South Asia, Middle East, and Africa at Unilever, and he will be presenting the topic Every Crisis Presents an Opportunity Emerging Stronger Post Pandemic. Mr. Bapat, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Georgia, because you just left me there with your last slide saying that in every chaos there is an opportunity. So I think that's a great thing to start for me.
That's a good pass indeed.
Okay, so let us move on with what I would like to share. I mean, I've been in business for the last 33 years now, working in various capacities, seen different kinds of challenges, different kinds of problems. But when we look at the current situation, it is very, very different. I know people keep talking about trying to compare this with a few other things that have happened in the past. People try to compare this with probably the financial crisis of 2008 or whatever it is. But even if we look at different problems that have occurred in the last 33 years, they were probably far from subsets of the current problem. The current problem, where we are talking of a medical emergency, a pandemic which has hit the entire world, is actually something which I don't think we have ever experienced, and it's very difficult for one to imagine as to how do you respond in this kind of a situation. And that's exactly where the whole challenge is all about, and people are facing those kind of problems when they're having a look at this, because we've never experienced something like this. In a span of probably 3 weeks, you had more than half of the world getting locked down. you know we've always talked about creating businesses, creating business strategies, creating plans, and we have mentioned and talked about the VUCA world, where we have said that the world is always volatile, it's uncertain, it is complex, it is ambiguous. But most of the times, you have a little bit of each of these components impacting you from the environment. Sometimes it's volatility which comes in because of a business challenge, sometimes it's an uncertainty where you are dealing with an unknown, but that unknown is still a known unknown. You have complexities in terms of your supply chains and things like that. Currently you are in a situation where it is absolutely ambiguous. It is ambiguous because you're dealing with unknowns, and you're dealing with unknown unknowns, where you are neither aware nor do you understand what the current situation is all about. This is throwing everything out of gear. When we talk about complexities, it is throwing out of gear your supply chains, it is throwing out of gear every aspect of your business. Uh, so that's the backdrop of the situation. Now, in this backdrop, when we are looking at what our consumers are doing, if we look at what this pandemic has done, so in a span of just 2 months, it has taught us a lot of behaviors which are not very natural to human beings. A behavior like social distancing, I don't think that's a very natural behavior to human beings who always want to be social, want to be with people, want to be interacting with people, and more of the physical form, or a combination of a physical and a digital form in the last maybe 10 years. So there has been a little bit of shift in terms of the behavior, but you still are very, very dependent on the physical interaction with people. And this particular pandemic has forced us into a behavior where we say that meeting people is taboo. I mean, you should not meet people. It's risky. So that's the kind of behavior that has been induced into us, uh, and it's an external intervention. But I mean, you can't avoid that situation because of the nature of the medical problem that we are facing today. There are certain habits where not that people did not have those habits, but now they have been, enhanced or multiplied to a large extent, especially awareness about hygiene, because it's very important that since this pandemic doesn't have a solution in terms of a cure or a vaccine, the only thing that is working today to break the chain of this transmission is things like social distancing and your hygiene awareness. Now, when you're looking at social distancing, what has that done to us? You know, suddenly from your normal or your routines that you had in terms of your work, in terms of schooling for your kids, and in terms of your different activities that you used to do stepping out of your house every day. So there are lots of things that you were used to doing, and one fine day suddenly somebody tells you, yes, you are locked into your house and you can't just move out. And that's exactly what happened to half of the population on the world, on the face of this earth, especially with the lockdowns. Now, now the moment you are pushed inside the house, you start looking at that entire space in a very different way. So today, when you are at home, that space is absolutely getting redefined for different pieces of activities that you used to do in different locations or different places during the course of the day. So that is something which has really changed. I'm sorry, actually, I skipped missing the pushing the slides up. Yeah. So when you look at it from that point of view, staying home, you started redefining those spaces. A space which was only meant for probably coming home, spending some little time with your family, having your meal, and probably relaxing a bit or sleeping, has suddenly become a place where you are working. Your kids are at the same time sitting with you in the house. They're trying to do their own set of activities. Now, slowly, schools are trying to come on board, so they are working in their own aspect. So you've started redefining this entire piece, which we used to call home, into probably responding to you in multiple activities. Now, this has definitely created demand for different needs that have been coming up during this particular time. So, if you look at it, I mean, suddenly the use of digital platforms like Zoom and various other platforms like Teams, the usage has gone up. I mean, I was just reading from 40 million users today to 200 million users, and then you're going plus in terms of the platform in a span of 6 weeks. I mean, that is phenomenal growth. That's a spike on a digital platform because that is the only substitute that can help you to connect with people around you or with people or with even with your work in the offices. So this is a dramatic change that has come in terms of how you're looking at it, what kind of things that you're using, the spike in use of digital platforms. Suddenly you see that across ages, you will find people getting on to shopping online. Not that people weren't shopping online, people were shopping online, but the, the growth on online shopping or the shift from physical stores to online stores has been quite slow and steady over the last 10 years. But today, suddenly you find a spike in terms of the number of people going online in terms of shopping. Your entertainment has moved on digital platforms. So there is a major shift that is taking place in terms of how you are interacting with the technology that is helping you to still stay connected with the world, following the norms of social distancing. No, so when we look at these kind of things, the immediate behavioral changes that we see are things like surge in the e-commerce, which I was mentioning to you across ages. There is a high demand suddenly for high hygiene requirements. home stuff that is gaining a lot of importance. So there are various things that are happening. Uh, Home delivery is something which people are looking for. People are started searching for immunity boosting products. So these are the different kinds of behaviors that we are noticing. One typical behavior here we see is about how people have suddenly moved to wearing masks. You'll be interested in knowing that in the year 2017, I was working on a project on air pollution, and we were looking at different things which the individuals can do to control the impact of air pollution on their health. So we were talking about air purifiers for indoors, car purifiers in cars. But when I step out and when I'm walking out on the road, what do I do? So the only solution at that point in time we were looking at was a face mask, okay, which could help you to filter pollution. But the biggest challenge at that point in time, when we were doing all the studies and we're trying to look at the penetration levels of face masks or usage of face masks, was very, very low. As a product, if we had to introduce a product like a face mask, the amount of marketing effort that we would have required to just make that change in terms of behavior of people wearing a face mask while they are going out, because they just were not used to thinking of wearing a mask on their face. So the whole analysis that we did at that point in time, we finally ruled out that particular product category, thinking that it's too difficult a category in terms of trying to change the behavior of people to use a face mask to protect themselves from pollution. And now suddenly you see in the world, because of a major fear of a disease, suddenly these behaviors have changed. Okay, there is a big question mark, which we will ask later, as to how long will these behaviors sustain. And that's the critical part when we think about our future. You look at graph like the immunity, people started searching products. Now, there are hosts of graphs like this, which I can show you in different categories, where suddenly come February and there is a major spike in terms of searches, in terms of buying for different product categories, which I will talk about when we are looking at it. So for example, immunity boosting products, so suddenly there is a shoot in terms of immunity boosting products. You look at other products. As I said, you're redefining the space, the home space for yourself. When you're redefining the home space for yourselves, one, you need the basic needs of ensuring that the house is kept clean at all times. You're looking at groceries and other things being delivered to your house. But not only that, there are a lot of other things that you have started looking at. I mean, if I could see a couple of categories that I follow very, very closely, which are air purifiers and the water purifiers. To utter surprise, the air purifier category nearly spiked by 100% during the initial stages of the pandemic. And if you look at the water purifier category actually grew by about 300%, because people did not want to rely on buying gallon bottles out of shopping stores in such a situation. So they preferred to actually look at having a water purification device inside your house. The other category, which was mostly a related category, so I just happened to check that out, and that's about the coffee makers. Now you see, coffee makers, it's more like having coffee on the go, getting into coffee shops, picking up your coffee, driving away. Now these away behaviors also are moving inside. So you want to be more comfortable trying to create or substitute those experiences within your house. So within the home or the environment that you want to stay in. And that's exactly the change that is depicted by people when the searches as well as shopping numbers go up for equipments like coffee makers. So these are the kind of things that we have noticed as we have gone. But it's important to understand that these are all behaviors which have been forced because there is a sudden intervention, an external intervention, which has induced certain behaviors into us. Now, as marketeers or as head of businesses, what is critical for us to understand what are these behaviors or what are these behaviors which have changed? Which are these behaviors where we are seeing spikes? Where do we see people coming in to suddenly replace their earlier behaviors? We need to figure that out. And once we figure that out, it is important for us to understand as to how these behaviors, the way they are going to impact our business, how do I make them stick? Because if, as marketeers, I don't work towards creating that stickiness for that particular changed behavior as of today, which we are experiencing, it becomes very difficult for me to ensure that the customers sustain that particular behavior. So, in addition to identifying these behaviors, it is very important for us to see in terms of designing our products, in terms of delivering our products, how do we do it? Like, for example, when we were talking about e commerce, now there are certain categories which have seen a change over the last 5 years where people have moved from physical to e-shopping or e-business or e-commerce. But there are certain categories which I've been noticing, like categories like groceries and things like that, which have been very slow on the offtake. People have been facing difficulties in terms of trying to, convert people to come onto an e-platform to buy groceries. Today's situation has actually made people look at e-commerce for groceries. Now, as a product manager or as a business manager for an e-commerce business on groceries, how do I make people continue with that habit even when the situation changes going forward? So it's the kind of experience that the customers are going to get today. How does this fear of not going out, hence ordering groceries at home, get replaced by certain other conveniences or certain other advantages which the customers see in terms of my product or my delivery of the product that makes him stick to that behavior? And that is now going forward. It's important for us to say that, okay, what is it that may stick, what is it that may not stick, and how do I plan? Okay, so what should be my next steps? So obviously, in a situation like this, I mean, all of us as business managers need to reflect and build certain assumptions. Okay, so for a point of discussion right now, if I assume that yes, I mean, the vaccine is at least about 1.5 years away from today. And even if it comes, I'm sure I cannot ensure that the vaccine just penetrates across the entire population of the. So it's going to take some time. So these behaviors may remain for a long period of time. People will have to ensure that they follow certain things very strictly, especially when they start going about doing their normal businesses once they step out of their houses. You know, the second is, I mean, this infection, because there is no solution, there is no cure, and there is no vaccination. Obviously, you will have situations, or you can have situations where, you know, it can be a cyclical uh, outbreak. So you may have situations where suddenly, things open up in certain parts of a country, and then you have to again probably lock down in certain parts of the countries. We need to make these assumptions, and if we make fair assumptions, it will be good for us in terms of planning. Because if you look at it from, say, even the logistics point of view, these things do make a difference. And if even if there is a partial lockdown, partial geographical lockdown, It can affect your supply chains, it can affect your products, it can affect your availability of products. So there are various aspects that need to be taken into account. But I think when you look at it from a very broad sense, this lockdown has really forced us to push back and think on various aspects of the business, which probably were always there at the back of our mind, but we were not pushing them. We were not really serious about making those changes. This lockdown and this pandemic has actually forced us to think in terms of how to expedite those things, how to build those competencies within our organization. So whether we talk about digital, whether we talk about data-driven decisions, we talk about variable cost structures, especially where in situations like this, it makes your business more viable. You look at agile operations, you look at moving your logistics and supply chains, you look at alternatives in terms of how to manage your businesses. The second, as we have seen, is digital is actually now becoming the base of most of the activity. So in terms of connectivity, in terms of delivery, in terms of e-commerce, in terms of education, in terms of entertainment. So I think it's very important to look at the entire business with digital as is something which is going to be all around you, and hence you have to be very, very particular in terms of planning and designing your businesses, your business models, because that's going to make a major impact on the way you look at your business. You look at agility, the speed is going to be really important when we do all this. As we said, consumer attitudes, behaviors, and habits are changing, but we need to figure out which one of them will stick. There are certain very critical things that we have seen. Things like people will become more conscious in terms of what they buy. Luxury goods may take a backseat. People are losing jobs. People would try to save money. Suddenly, your local stores have gained importance and digital commerce have gained importance. So you will have situations where what really happens to the big retail stores in big malls. In fact, I was just reading a report today morning where they're talking about moving restaurants out of big malls, because if you are always or only in the malls, it was a great place because you had natural footfalls. But in situations like this, they don't seem to be a good idea. So these are the kind of things that are happening. These are the kind of things that we need to notice. These are the kind of things that we need to look at in terms of how things are going to change going forward, and how we need to really look at managing this change, identifying those factors which will have a long-term impact on your business, and working towards making those changes. You look at media consumption, even the media consumption is going to be changing phenomenally. You will see media more on things like your YouTubes and your online videos, online content, and the way the content is consumed, the kind of content that is consumed, everything is going to change. So even as brands, when we communicate with people, we will have to figure out different ways of connecting with people. That's something which we will have to look at. Thank you very much for giving a patient hearing.